They say if you sleep with your phone recording, you might hear things you were never supposed to hear. Some people hear their dog walking around. Some hear their partner mumbling in their sleep, and some swear they've heard ghosts whispering. But me, I didn't hear footsteps. I didn't hear whispers. I heard someone breathing beside me at 3:13 a.m., even though I live alone. If you love terrifying true stories, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's step into this nightmare together. My name is Evan Larson, and this happened last year, but I still haven't slept properly since. It started with something stupid, something harmless. I snored too much. My coworker told me about a sleep recorder app. Said it helped him figure out his sleep patterns when he tossed and turned, all of that. So I downloaded it, thinking whatever, maybe it'll help me too. That first night, I didn't expect anything. I put the phone on my nightstand, the screen facing the wall, and went to sleep. No scary vibes, no chills, nothing unusual. But in the morning, I woke up feeling like I had slept in someone else's skin. Not rested, just uneasy. I opened the app, expecting to hear my own snoring. Instead, the first recording was titled 3:13 a.m. Breathing Detected. I pressed play, and for the first 5 seconds it was just silence. Then I heard it, slow, a heavy breathing. Not mine. I know my own breath. I know the sound of my inhaler-worn lungs. This wasn't that. This was deeper, lower, like someone big was lying right next to the phone, breathing directly toward the microphone. I sat there staring at the phone, my stomach twisting. My apartment was tiny, one bedroom. If someone had come inside, I would have heard the door. I would have heard the floorboards. But the recording didn't sound like someone moving. It sounded like someone who had already been there. I deleted the app immediately, closed it, decided it was a glitch. My imagination, anything except the obvious. But that night, something happened that forced me to download it again. I was brushing my teeth when I heard a soft thump from the living room. Not a crash, just a soft bump, like someone touching the wall. I froze. Another thump, this one closer. By the hallway, I walked out, toothbrush still in my mouth, foam dripping down my lip. I turned the corner, nobody. The apartment was empty, quiet, still. But my TV, the big flat screen I kept in the living room, had a faint smudge on the bottom corner. Like someone with wet hands had brushed against it. I wiped it off, shook my head, and took my phone back to the bedroom. And against my better judgment, I downloaded the app again. Night 2. The next morning, there were 3 recordings. The first was just me shifting around. The second was my snoring, faint and normal. But the third, the title said, 3:13 a.m. voice detected. Same time as yesterday. I hit play. Silence. Then breathing again. Then something whispered, "Move over. I'm cold." I stopped breathing. My hands went numb. I replayed it. Twice. 3 times. The voice wasn't mine. Wasn't even close. It was deeper. Slow. Like someone half asleep, speaking inches from the microphone. I felt sick, actually sick. Had to sit down because the room felt like it was spinning. I live on the 3rd floor. The door has 2 locks. My windows are sealed shut. Nobody should have been in that room. Nobody should have been whispering beside my bed. I didn't go to work that day. I just sat in the living room with every light on, replaying that recording until I knew every breath by heart. And every time I listened, I heard something new. Some extra sound in the background. Faint scraping. A soft shifting. as if something was trying to get closer to the phone. I didn't want to sleep again, but I was exhausted. My eyes burned. Around 11 p.m. I finally gave in, turned on the app, and lay down facing the wall. This time, I was afraid to close my eyes. The next morning, the app had 8 recordings. Most were just me moving or adjusting the blanket. But the first one that mattered was at 2:47 a.m. I pressed play. It was the sound of my bedroom door creaking. Slowly, softly, like someone had pushed it open with one finger. I slammed pause. My door had been closed when I went to sleep. I knew that for sure. Hands shaking, I played it again. The hinge groaned, about halfway open, then stopped. Then footsteps, slow, dragging, as if someone's feet were sliding instead of lifting. One step, then another, stopping right beside my bed, right beside my phone, then breathing, low, wet, hungry. The next recording, 30 minutes later, was worse. A whisper, Evan, my own voice, but wrong, higher, almost mocking, like someone was practicing it. I dropped the phone. My own voice was whispering my name, even though I was asleep. I checked the recordings from the rest of the night, nothing else. Then I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. My eyes were bloodshot. My hair was messy, but something else bothered me. I looked pale, too pale, like I hadn't slept in days. That's when I realized something. That voice, the one whispering my name, it wasn't just imitating me, it was learning me. That day I moved the phone. Instead of placing it on the nightstand, I put it across the room, facing the bed, like a camera but audio only. Night 4, I tried to stay awake, but around 1:30 a.m. I finally knocked out. And at exactly 3:13 a.m., something happened. Not in the recording. In real life, I felt a breath on my neck. Cold, moist, close. I jerked awake so fast I almost fell off the bed. My heart hammered in my ears. I grabbed my phone like a weapon. The room was dark, silent, empty, but on the wall across from me, the TV screen had a reflection. Faint silhouette, tall, still, standing in the corner of the room. I blinked. It was gone. I turned on every light in the apartment. Didn't sleep again until the sun came up. When I checked the app, there were 12 recordings. The most important one was titled 3:13 a.m. Speech detected. I clicked play. For the first 10 seconds, it was just breathing. Then something whispered very slowly, "Don't face the screen." The voice was broken, like it was learning how to use words. My spine felt like ice. Then it whispered again, closer this time, "Your eyes aren't ready?" I snapped the phone shut and threw it across the bed. That night, something had been watching me, not touching, not whispering directly into my ear, just watching, learning, mimicking. I stopped using the app, deleted it again. I didn't care what was happening. I just wanted it gone. But the thing about something that learns you is that it doesn't stop just because you tell it to. 2 nights later, at 3:13 a.m., I woke up to the sound of breathing again. No phone recording, no app, just real breathing, right behind my head. I didn't move. I was too scared. The breathing got louder, closer, like someone's mouth was inches from my ear. Then, a finger touched the back of my neck. Not cold, not warm, just heavy, like someone tapping to see if I was awake. I shot forward, rolled off the bed, hit the floor hard, and scrambled for the light. Nothing. Nobody. The room was empty again. But the closet door, the one I always kept closed, was open 2 inches. I stared at it, my chest tightening, my breath shaking out of me like I had run a mile. I shut the door, locked it, pushed a chair in front of it. But the next morning, the chair was on the other side of the room, and the closet door was open again. Wide open. Something inside me snapped. I needed proof. Not audio, not shadows. Proof. So I set my phone to record video. Not sound. Video. I placed it across the room facing the bed and forced myself to sleep. Night 6. Here's what the footage showed. 1:25 a.m. me rolling over. 2:10 a.m. Blanket shifts slightly though I didn't move. 3:03 a.m. the bedroom door opens a crack. Slow. Like someone pushing it with their fingernails. 3:08 a.m. A shadow spreads across the floor. Not a person's. Taller. Thinner. Longer arms. 3:13 a.m. My blanket lifts. Not pulled, lifted. Like 2 hands were sliding underneath. 3:13 a.m. Something whispers, but the audio is too distorted to understand. 3:14 a.m. The closet door opens. The thing steps backward into it. And then, right before the recording ends, a voice, clear this time, speaks directly into the camera mic. Don't check the closet. The video stopped right there. Not naturally. Not at the file limit. Cut off. Mid-frame. As if something pressed stop. When I walked back to my bedroom, sunlight shining through the window, every light on, I saw it. The closet door, scratched. From the inside. Long, deep claw marks carved down the wood. At least 10 of them. Some starting near the ceiling. I packed a bag and left the apartment that day. I didn't take the TV. Didn't take the bed. Didn't take anything except my clothes and my laptop. And I never went back. I still don't know what was in that closet. I don't know how long it watched me, listened to me, learned me. I don't know what would have happened if I opened that door one night. When it whispered, when it breathed, when it stood over me at 3:13 a.m. But I know this. I never sleep with my door closed anymore. I never use sleep recording apps. I don't keep mirrors or screens facing my bed. And every night, at exactly 3:13 a.m., I wake up. Not because something whispers, not because something touches me, but because some part of me still remembers the voice, still remembers the breathing, and still believes it's standing in my closet, waiting for me to be curious enough to check. Believe my story or don't. But if you ever hear breathing on your recordings, and you know you were alone, don't play it again. Don't investigate. And for your own sake, don't check the closet.